Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about what I consider to be one of the most underrated starfighters in the Star Wars universe, the Tie Interceptor. Specifically, I want to talk about how the Tie Interceptor is such a different ship, especially when compared to the Tie Fighter, and how it has some very interesting roots in prior starfighter designs. Before that though, just a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Audible. From podcasts to Audible originals to best-selling audiobooks, Audible has it all. I'll lay it out to you because it's super simple. As an Audible member, every month you'll get to choose one title from their complete audiobook catalog, which you keep forever. Has watching my channel made you want to get into Star Wars books? Well, get the Audible trial. You'll get a free 30 days, and audiobooks are probably the best way to experience Star Wars novels, and you'll get one for free. And that's alongside all of the other great benefits that come with an Audible plan: podcasts, Audible originals, and more. All of which you get to stream as much as you want. I love the service, and that's not just ad speak. I buy every new Star Wars audiobook on Audible. I've got over a month of listening time. It's highly recommended. If you want to know what to listen to, well, if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend the original unabridged Thrawn trilogy. Always get unabridged audiobooks for the Star Wars ones anyway. Looking for a non-Star Wars audiobook? Well, I always recommend the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. It's just so good. Let Audible help you discover new ways to laugh, be inspired, or be entertained. New members can try Audible for free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/EckhartsLadder or text Eckhart's Ladder to 500-500. Alright, so the new Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels has a very interesting quote by Kyle Katarn that I thought I would read to you outright. He says, "Your generic TIE grunt is plain suicidal. The TIE Defender jockey is bloodthirsty, but the TIE Interceptor pilot, he's suicidal and bloodthirsty. When you see a squad of those maniacs flying your way, you better hope your hyperdrive is operational." And he's right. The TIE Interceptor is a pure offensive machine. Unlike the TIE Defender, which is weighed down by things like a hyperdrive and shields, the TIE Interceptor is pure performance and firepower. It was honestly what the Empire chose for their next generation starfighter. The process as started by ships like the TIE Advanced as used by Darth Vader. And this is something the Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels notes. The TIE Interceptor's bent wings, an element lifted directly from the TIE Advanced prototype, give the starfighter a smaller profile and increased power. What exactly does that mean? Well, for one, there's a divot cut out of the TIE Interceptor's wing, as I'm sure you've noticed. This houses a set of laser cannons on each wing. Additionally, it makes the ship look more aggressive and menacing, which you know the Empire certainly appreciated. I'm going to come back in a second, but you'll also notice that the TIE Interceptor's wings give it more real estate for its solar collectors. I always have people ask me, is this true? Is the paneling on the side of a TIE's wing actually used to collect energy? And yeah, it is. These solar collectors probably aren't a primary source of power. I mean, TIE variants can fight in the middle of space away from any stars if they so choose, but I'm sure it helps. Anyway, back to the weapons. The TIE Interceptor was so deadly because it had not only the chin-mounted lasers of the TIE Fighter, but also wing-mounted cannons. However, what's also interesting is that plenty of real estate on the wing was dedicated not only to these cannons, but also advanced sensors. According again to the new Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels, 4 laser cannons mounted 2 to a wing are paired with targeting sensors to create the most accurate weapons of any Imperial starship save the TIE Defender, of course with the fraction of the cost. And with all of these different weapons in different places, the bloodthirsty and perhaps suicidal TIE Interceptor pilot is given a lot of options. Same with an X-Wing. You can fire all cannons linked together for a devastating effect. You can fire them one at a time to put out a never-ending stream of firepower. Just offers a lot of option, and again, that comes down to the unique wing design. Of course, we do see other Imperial fighters with at least curved wings in regular service. The TIE Bomber or the TIE Shuttle would probably be the best example of that. But the closest thing we really get to an Interceptor is the Defender. That has wingtip mounted laser cannons, but still the spot for the sensors. If you look at something like a TIE Avenger, it does have that section of the paneling removed, but that almost seems more to lower its target profile. Although it's also very possible that we just haven't seen a TIE Avenger in high enough quality to see the sensors, and some renderings like those made by Fractal Sponge do show some things actually taking up space in the missing panel area. The end of the new Essential Guide to Vehicles and Vessels page also has something interesting. It says the TIE Interceptor's bent wing design is reminiscent of the Sith Infiltrator, which many believe Wraith Sinar created for Darth Maul. And I mean, yeah, the Scimitar, the Sith Infiltrator, definitely does have similarly curved wings. I'm not sure if that implies that the TIE Interceptor is meant to carry on this Sith heritage, or if it's meant rather as a wink and a nod to the fact that Wraith Sinar has sort of been behind a lot of it from the start. If you do look back in ancient Sith history, there were many starfighters which, could very well be cousins of not just the TIE Interceptor, but TIE fighters as a whole. There is, of course, the Fury class Interceptor. Many of the other fighters of that era too also have very similar paneling and overall design. We see, for example, the B-5 Decimus, the Bloodmark, which was more of a scout fighter than an interceptor, and honestly many others. Now, obviously, in the real world, the Old Republic ships were inspired by the Imperial ships, but I think the lore works well to hint that Sinar has been making shit a little more Sith-like as the Empire becomes more powerful. The TIE Interceptor just looks so much cooler than the TIE Fighter, though. I know the TIE Fighter is an iconic vessel and it's had its time in the sun, but the TIE Interceptor just looks so much more menacing to the point where the TIE Fighter itself just looks a little goofy in my opinion. On that note, looking at the Starships of the Galaxy guide, the connection between the two ships is also hinted at. It says the Sith Infiltrator is clearly a vessel created for stealth and subterfuge. Its design, which appears to be inspired by the same design philosophy as that of the TIE Fighter series, gives the vessel a low but menacing profile. Everything about the ship's appearance suggests darkness and secrecy. Anyway, returning back to the TIE Interceptor, it was so successful and the wing change was so great that the Empire intended to replace all TIE fighters completely with the Interceptor. Interestingly enough, however, they didn't intend to change their tactics whatsoever, which to me feels like a bit of a loss, especially when you have this fighter that performs really differently. You've got to think, the right pilot in a TIE Interceptor can out-dogfight pretty much any Rebel or New Republic ship. Maybe you sacrifice a little bit of maneuverability to give the ship some shields, and that's what later Imperials would do after the Battle of Endor when Imperial resources started to diminish. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about the TIE Interceptor. Well, except for one thing, I know people will yell at me if I don't say this. Yes, the lack of a panel theoretically helps the TIE Interceptor pilot see a bit more to their port and starboard side, but I mean, it's still a really bad system. But anyway, until next time, be safe, have a good one. Thanks to Audible for sponsoring today's video, and may the Force be with you.